Assemblies may be manufactured at one facility and shipped to another facility where the harness are installed into an end item. This is after we do the wire harnessing. It can be a L bracket kind of wire harness which gets fitted into a cabinet, or a cable form which is made and then fitted into a card cage and then placed into the cabinet. So the L bracket may have so many cable harness assemblies, then the card cages gets fitted into that. So the importance here, what we need to think of is the end user, where it gets shipped to, that is in the dockyard or in the submarines. There, we should see that the fasteners are not loosened. Then whatever we have assembled and for what it is meant, it has to be used efficiently without any rework. So that is the aim. Mechanical assemblies, they refer to mounting of assemblies with screws, bolts, nuts. This section covers visual criteria and compliance to torque requirements when specified as per the documentation. The verification procedure, it ensures no damage to the components in assembly. When no torque requirements are specified, follow the standard industry practices. The deviations to process documentation need to have prior customer approval. That is, we need to take our customer concurrence before we go ahead. Criteria in this section, it does not apply to self-tapping screws, where the criteria are self-explanatory, no illustrations are provided. When no specific requirements have been established by other documentation, the following criteria applies. Now let us have a look at the acceptable criteria for all the classes, that is class 1, 2 and 3. The wires and cables avoid rough surfaces or sharp edges. Then minimum electrical clearance is to be maintained. Hardware is to be tightened, including applicable torque if required. Then connections to ground should be free of any protective finishes, that is from paint or any anodizing kind of coating. Wire routing, it should meet the requirements for drip loops. Then soldered connections, they comply with section 4. Section 4 deals with soldering. Crimping complies with section 5. And splice connections, they comply with section 8, which we have already had a look at. This is the continuation of the acceptable criteria. Wiring is terminated at the destination specified. Wires are not routed through keep-out zones.
This is coaxial and biaxial cable assemblies. Upon completion of this module, the participant will be able to identify the requirements and acceptance criteria for coaxial and biaxial cable assemblies. Requirement, that is the termination or wire preparation, whatever it may be. We will come to know that what is the acceptable criteria for coaxial and biaxial cable assemblies. The biaxial means more than the one wire. The two wire coaxial also will come. The first module overview is the first step is the stripping and center conductor termination, then solder ferrule pins, then coaxial connector to printed wire bore mount. That is the printed on the printed circuit board. How coaxial cable connector has to be mounted, and then coaxial connector center conductor length. Okay, preparation. It's the preparation for center conductor length, and then angle connector. Then coaxial connector, center conductor solder. How to solder the center conductor and the criteria and what is the limitation for that. Then coaxial connector, terminal cover. There will be a connector. On that, for soldering there will be a window, and after that soldering termination, there will be a cover is going to come. Then how to solder that cover also will be briefed in the subject. And the shield termination. Again, shield means already we know that coaxial means the cable, core cable, which will be having shield. Then how to terminate the shield, and then center pin. Then semi-rigid coaxial cable. That is the semi-rigid means it will not have. It is a metallic coaxial cable. And what is the bending criteria and how to prepare, and what is the termination, that is going to be discussed in semi-rigid coaxial. And swage type connector. Then soldering and stripping of biaxial wire, and then multi-axial shielded wire. to function properly, it is critical to follow all assembly instructions provided by the manufacturer. Then pieces of the connectors must remain as concentric as possible. Here we can see the coaxial cable, okay, and this is the outer jacket, and there is a center pin, and then again dielectric material, then shielding, conductive shielding housing. Then critical to electrical and mechanical function of the assembly. Relationship of the outside diameter (OD) of the cable, center conductor, connector contact. Then thickness of the dielectric, then inside diameter of the connector body and cable shielding. These are the critical electrical and mechanical function of the assembly. Then insulation integrity is important to preclude shorting of shields to each other or shorting of shield to the center conductor. Means the shield, we should take care of the shield is not supposed to short with the center of the conductor. Then criteria for sleeving damage are in section 16. Then stripping now. Coaxial cable is manufactured using different shield configurations that give different percentage of coverage values. Then the majority of cable fits into just a few grooves. The picture what shows that you showed you some problem. Now stripping. Some cable, I think we can see this one only. Some cable is identified as double shield. Okay, but when the shield is a foil wrap rather than a second braid. Okay, some of the shield, double shield when we call, some of the shield will be having above the shield foil wrap will be there. Okay, on the shield or before the shield, normally before the shield foil wrap is available. Then the foil is not used during mechanical attachment. That means a foil which is already there and under beneath of the main pre-woven braid, which will not give any mechanical support for the cable or the termination. Then this cable would be assembled as a single braid cable. Then damage tolerance depends on shield coverage percentage. Damage tolerance depends on the shield coverage percentage. How much percentage the shield coverage when we terminate, that is the one.